Man, so do you realize we've been doing this for almost a year now? I mean, it's September, so this has been going on.
No,
Yeah.
that's not right.
No, you don't think you? Yeah, we got started like at the beginning of the year. Well, we recorded our first episode before the new year, and then we released it like I want to say January 3rd or something like that.
Oh, okay. I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. What did you think it was shorter or longer?
Shorter.
Ah, gotcha.
I was thinking it was just January, and I was like, it's only September. January 4th is what it says on here.
Yep.
But that's right, we did record it early. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. I think we sat on it for like maybe a week and a half or something like that. We were just like, let's just get it out there, you know.
Yeah.
Everything lined up, so we finally went ahead and just put it out.
I think we were worried about the logo or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah. But as we've come to learn, that's a pretty common issue that podcasts have because
oh my gosh.
everybody had that same logo.
This is a sidebar thing that we don't have to talk about on the show, but is height an important thing in dating?
No,
why is that a thing?
That's definitely something I'm going to leave in. And yeah, it's interesting because, yeah, I mean, even when I was like looking at stuff like that in just a cursory sort of way, you know, just like out of curiosity and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they want you to spell out the,
your exact height.
The exact height. They want you to like, the smoking thing, okay, I can understand that. Because if you're out on a date.
That's different.
Yeah, if you're out on a date and somebody has upper respiratory issues, that can be a problem down the line. Having kids, of course, that could come into play. You know, that's definitely a preference. Drinking, not so much, you know, because it's more
depends.
It depends.
If someone's a heavy drinker, like I do have those rules of like, I don't want to deal with a smoker, I don't want to deal with a heavy drinker.
Heavy drinker, sure. But I mean, of course, even that's something that I feel like you kind of need to get to know about a person, like through
absolutely.
dating. Because like, all right, so I consider heavy drinking somebody that drinks every day of the week. Like, I know people that can like down a bottle of wine a night and still be okay. But yeah, there's like people that drink heavily that just go nuts on the weekend, you know?
Yeah.
And then they just like pass out. They just black out.
But the height thing is so weird.
Yeah, the height thing.
Such a weird thing.
Yeah, I was getting around the block to that, but yeah, the height thing. I don't know. I mean, you have preferences, obviously, about what type of person that you imagine yourself with, but the height thing is, at least it shouldn't be a deal breaker.
I understand. I mean, I understand like looks because you have to be attracted to someone. I understand a lot of that stuff. It's like I understand superficial things. I know everyone's like, I don't want to be I don't want to do this and that. It's like, no, bitch, you have to be, you have to be attracted to someone. So I understand a lot of that superficial stuff, and that's totally, it varies from person to person though. So just because you're not attracted to one person doesn't mean you're not attractive. You're just not that person's type. But the height thing is just weird to me.
I know
very
that
strange.
It seems like that's more of like a personal thing. You know, I mean, even if people don't flat out come out and say it, a lot of folks want to be close to the same height as their partner. They, you know, just the societal norms, you want the guy to be a little bit taller in those type of situations.
Yeah.
You know?
I know that there's a whole complex with guys if they're not tall enough.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I think that that's weird.
Yeah, I know they joke around and say some guys suffer from Napoleon complex. I don't know if that's like a real thing or not, but I know a lot
I think it's a real thing, like, culturally, but Napoleon wasn't actually short. He was of average height. So that part wasn't factual. But
all the rumors.
It's an odd thing. And I know that there are a lot of women that actually prefer men who are like tall dudes. Have to be over 6 foot, or I don't know, whatever the hell the preference is.
Yeah, I don't know either. Like there are guys out there, and you know, I work in an office environment, so yeah, I hear these type of conversations. Ironically, I hear it more frequently now. Like there's a new crop of guys that have come into the office that are a little, exactly. They're a little more seasoned. They've been in the finance industry for a long time, and they just were around that environment. So they are just very loose with what type of things they talk about.
Yeah.
And some of it, it's just awful. You know,
yeah, of course.
They talk about what they want in a woman. They talk about their ideal woman, that sort of thing. And it's like they get it down to like, all right, I want her to have these measurements. I want her to be this weight and stuff like that. It's like, man,
yeah.
No wonder people are so self-conscious when they go out there, because they got guys like this who are just eyeing them up saying, no, she's not worthy. It's like, who the fuck are you? Like, maybe she don't want you.
And they usually look like fucking garbage.
What I appreciate lately is the common idea that you should be open to just any number of people that come your way. You know, I mean, no matter if they fit your particular preference, because that's what it is. It's a preference. It's not a demand. You know, if you fall for somebody, it should never come down to, oh well, I wanted somebody who was 5'11". They're only 5'6".
I agree on that part. I don't like the idea of you need to be open to someone in that cultural way that I think it's being kind of negatively used towards women in the sense of like, you need to not friend zone this guy. You need to give this guy a chance. He's a nice guy. It's nice guy culture.
I get you. Yeah.
So that same argument of like, you need to be open to this and that. It's like, well, bitch, maybe you like, she doesn't actually have any interest in you. Right. And that's just a thing that happened. You have to deal with it.
That's a whole different conversation, I feel. And I know you weren't getting that vibe from me, but it did bring us to this interesting topic, which is, I mean, if it comes down to it, and there's a guy who thinks, oh, I'm a nice guy, I look good, I've got this and that and all that. It's like, it doesn't necessarily mean that she's going to like you, dude. It's just,
You know, you're not entitled to anything. That's what happens. That's what at the end of the day, you're not entitled to anyone. No one has to date you. No one has to sleep with you. Like, you're not entitled to shit. And that goes across genders, across orientations, all of it. You're not entitled to anything.
Yeah.
And other than the same respect that you should be giving other people.
There's a difference between being confident about yourself and being entitled.
Yeah.
You know, being self-confident, having that nature about you, it kind of flies in the face of being entitled, because entitlement comes from, just feeling, not good enough. To the point
those guys that are talking about measurements, they're entitled. That's fucking entitled.
Yeah, that's some bullshit. That's what it is. Because, even if they do end up getting their ideal mate or whatever, no one stays the same way they are forever. I mean,
no.
Human beings shrink as they grow older. You're not going to be as tight as you are right now. It just, I don't know, man. Yeah. I get sick of people, but
no shit.
But all that to say, it's a weird qualification when trying to fill in a dating profile, because it's like, I hope I don't miss out on somebody good because they aren't 5'4", they're 5'5", you know?
Yeah, it's just very strange. It doesn't make me angry in any way. Mm-hmm. It's just like a very, like an observation thing that
Well, let me ask you this.
That's a thing.
Is it like a scale on the dating app that you were looking at? Or is it just like flat out?
No, it's enter your exact height.
Oh, it's enter your height. Okay.
But yeah. Okay. No. It's, but like, you see other people's height too.
Yeah. Okay?
So like, it's there. You're entering your height. You know?
Have you,
Clearly height matters.
I don't know if you're interested in this at all, but are you, gonna play around with the Facebook dating app when it comes out, or is that just like 100% no?
I don't even know if I'm going. I deleted my dating profile that I made on a site that shall not be named within 24 hours, less than 24 hours, because I got pissed off about something.
Yeah.
And so the idea of giving Facebook more data doesn't seem like a good idea, considering they're terrible with their algorithm. They are terrible.
But
their security?
What's interesting is that they're trying their best, because I read up about it a little bit out of curiosity, because with everything going on with Facebook now, with them being brought to task for leaking information and that sort of thing.
Yes.
I was curious how they planned to roll out this dating aspect of their app because it seems like, okay, this is going to be embarrassing for everybody. So one good thing about it, at least what they're claiming is going to happen, is you're not automatically signed up for it if you're a Facebook user, but it is part of the Facebook app. So
it's like an app within an app.
What they do is, and this is wild. If it works, it's interesting.
Okay.
But I don't foresee it working out. I think anyway. They have a thing where you put in 9 people that you have a crush on.
Oh my God.
And then if that same person in your friend group reveals that they have a crush on you as well, then Facebook lets you know. However,
that just feels incestuous.
It feels weird, right? But it's like, other than that, they're not going to pull from your current friend roster to try to find you a date. They're going to try to find people based on their analytics or whatever.
Like a regular app.
Like a regular,
Okay.
But it goes out of its way, or the intention is it's going to go out of its way to avoid your personal friend list.
Okay.
So like if you're on Tinder or something and you just keep swiping and you're like, oh, I know them. Goodbye. You know, you don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It's all terrible. Everything is awful.
It is.
But if you have a friend that you're interested in, just talk to that friend.
Yeah.
Like that. Don't do that. Don't play a game. Just shoot your fucking shot. The world's dying. Who gives a shit?
Shoot your shot, baby. It's like it's one of those do you like me, check yes or no sort of situations in that case.
Go poke them. Give them a poke. Do they still have that?
I think they do. I think it's just buried now.
Yeah.
Like I used to get pokes all the time because people were like, haha, this is annoying. I'm
yeah,
poke
it was weirdly fun, and now we're like, what the fuck is this? Get out of here.
I got a poke. What the fuck? Oh, that thing. Yeah, okay.
Oh, don't poke. Yeah, I don't know about that. Other people have suggested things to me.
Okay.
Apps and what to do and what not, which I appreciated. My cousin was the one who convinced me to make a profile.
Okay.
She's a bitch, so I blame her.
Cousins, man. I tell you.
Fuck you. No, I don't know. I'm already very jaded, so it doesn't help that I'm getting into a further jaded world. I'm just naturally that way. I'm not a pessimist about a lot of things in life. I am in this realm. So I'm very pessimistic. I've seen too much.
Exactly. I mean, with the way the world is now, I don't envy anybody that's going through, that's trying to find somebody, because it's like
all of my married friends say that, and most of my friends are married because they're older.
I mean, as you get older, that's kind of
so
just
funny about my cousin was she was like, "You're around too many old people." Oh God,
man,
it was really funny.
It's always weird because like I have a few younger friends as well, and it's just funny because like they all went through that season recently where all of them were getting married and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like so funny because it's a very like friend group sort of thing where you get an invitation to somebody's wedding and it's almost like something clicks inside of you that's like, oh, well, maybe it's time for me. And all of a sudden, everybody's getting married in the same year.
Yeah, I don't really subscribe to that because I've always been like, I should have gone to college exactly out of high school and graduated at 22 and should have done X, Y, and Z, 22, 23. Mm-hmm. But things happened in my life. Like financially, I couldn't do it. So like I got into colleges. I left college specifically to make sure that I did not completely sink my family financially.
Oh.
So I left to help my father with his business and delayed it for years, for like 5 years plus years. And I don't regret it because now like I have more financial aid opportunities and everything like that because I'm financially independent. Things happen in their time.
Yeah.
Is the point that I'm trying to make. So when I look at the timeline of other people, I also go, when I see people getting married, when I saw people, especially a couple of years ago, getting married right out of college, I was like, ugh, I don't think that's going to end well.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time,
I'm
it's
skeptical.
like...
So many people have, gotten divorced within my family circle. Like, everyone has had at least one divorce.
I was talking about this to some friends over the weekend as well. Just, folks that get married in their early 20s. It's like, you still got a lot of mistakes to make in your early 20s,
Yeah, and marriage might be one of those mistakes.
And it was for me. But,
that's right. I always forget about that.
Yeah.
You and my other BFF, she was also had pretty much the same type of story of like religious person marrying young, divorcing young, and then remarrying the right person.
Yeah, and there's, obviously I'm not ashamed of it because I've talked about it several times on the show. But
yeah,
I mean, I hope no one is too ashamed about that sort of thing because people make mistakes. Sometimes they're more costly than others, but it's life. It's just part of the journey. It's what happens.
I'm not shaming it. I'm just saying that I'm very aware of it. Like, I'm very aware of, like, you should take counseling with people before and during marriage. Like, you should do this. You should, like, you can't avoid, I definitely, when I was younger, I felt like I will never do it if there's even a 1% chance of failure. Now I'm like, that's stupid. But,
I was stubborn too, because when I grew up in a home, I won't say broken home because it didn't feel like that, but
my home is broken.
I grew up with divorced parents, as most American children did.
Yeah, we all did.
Yeah, exactly. But what I'm saying is like I promised myself as a young man, like I'm never gonna get divorced, and then it was like, yeah, if I ever have a kid, I'm never gonna, break up with the baby's mother and stuff like that because I don't want to have a kid grow up like I grew up because, I feel like that was unfair, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But then I realized, like, okay, this is real life.
And sometimes it's healthier to split.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, to be better parents to the kid.
And it's healthier to split before you have a kid,
Hell
because,
yeah.
We've talked about this at length, too, on the show. Just, like, having a baby to stay together is not...
It's a great idea. Go do it, guys.
Yeah, and we're supposed to... See, this is one reason why I'm glad you had me watch 6 Feet Under, because I've seen... the mistakes, and I mean, obviously it's very fictionalized and just off the rails, but yeah, I've seen what a terrible...
You know what the sad part is? I watched that show, and I swear to God, I'm related to all of these people. As crazy as you think everyone is on that show, I can tell you that I have blood relation to most of them.
Man.
Yeah, they're fucking nuts.
Yeah. I mean, we've all got folks like that in our family. But what's interesting is that, you find out about that sort of thing, like, well ahead of time. I have to, like, figure it out on my own, given context clues years later.
What do you mean?
Like, for instance, I don't want to give it for instance. No, I take that back. But yeah, just situations where you wonder why you stopped seeing a certain relative, Like, you had an uncle, and he stops coming around. And it's like, well, what happened to him? Oh, well, he and your aunt got divorced, like, 5 years ago, but...
Oh, you had that kind of thing happen.
Right, but nobody told you because you were a kid. So,
No, I had adults around me that did not view boundaries of adult and children in a healthy way. So they just said everything. And I've definitely met other people that had that, and they also have the cynical nature.
It's one end of the spectrum or
everything's going to be bad, isn't it?
Yeah. It's one end of the spectrum or another, because you either get too much information or you don't get any at all. Because, and I mean, that's fair. The last thing they're thinking about is, okay, we need to figure out how we're going to break the news to Matt about why his aunt and uncle broke up.
I don't know what I would choose if the two choices were you're given all of this information and then you're scared to do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
Or you're given none of this information and you do X, Y, and Z and you fuck up a lot and you have a lot of failures. Like you have failures either way, but like you learn the really hard way.
I mean, there's things that I've learned about my family and things that I've wanted to know more about that unfortunately I can't because it's been lost to family members that have passed away. Like this stuff, there's stuff that I want to ask my mom that I can't because she's just no longer here. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, there's recipes that I'm getting in a real sad place right now, but I promise we'll swing up. We'll make it a better episode after this. It's gonna
be a funny episode.
Ooh, man. No. Just like, I'll end it on this. There's just recipes that she used to make that I'll never have again because I didn't have the foresight to like, ask like, how do you make this? Like, your tuna and noodle casserole. Like it used to be.
That's the same stuff that like my grandmother talks about that too.
Yeah.
How like you didn't think to write down X, Y, and Z.
Exactly. Like she showed me how to make it a few times, but it was like I was a bachelor. I wanted to order pizza. I wasn't thinking about that,
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'll pick it up later. And I just, things happen.
Guys, the moral of the story is don't watch 6 Feet Under because it will make you introspective.
Yeah. So this began as a conversation about the stigma of people that are a certain height and why that matters to dating sites. But yeah, I don't get it. It's just it's a weird qualification for a potential partner. Just like, yeah, you ain't 5'4", we ain't doing it no more. You're out.
It's all weird. That's the ultimate lesson. If I can give you guys any lesson, it's that everything in life is weird, and then you die. That's it. That's the place I'm in.
So, all right, that was like more like one of our classic episodes where we just like talked about life and shit for a whole hour or so. So I guess we should lean into.
We did it for 20 minutes though. We got a little better.
We got a little better.
So that was all right. So we got some questions from peoples.
We got some questions from y'all. Thank you guys for writing in. For those that want us to discuss a certain topic or you have a question about something that we discussed, or if you find yourself talking to your car radio as you're driving along somewhere, go ahead and write us whatever that is, and we'll read it on air and respond back to you. So you're not crazy. It's fine.
Yeah.
You can tweet us at Lex and Matt. We're also on Facebook and Instagram at Lex and Matt. Anywhere you want to be, that's where we're at. So check us out. Yeah,
you can direct message us. I check the unread messages thingy or whatever. Mm-hmm. And if you're a robot, I see those sexy pictures. I know you keep wanting to send them my way. I am DTF.
No. Lex will totally hook up with a sexy robot.
I love fucking with those robots, especially when they comment. Like when they message, I don't do anything. Did I send you the Quentin Tarantino one that I did?
Oh, I don't think so.
So it was like, God, I don't remember. It was basically like, do you want to make money doing like whatever the fuck? And I was like, sorry, Quentin Tarantino already pays me for those sweet, foot pics or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I was just fucking with robots. So
my favorite one was one that you just posted today in your timeline on Instagram, which was somebody posted, because tomorrow's 9/11. So somebody posted.
Not what I'm laughing at. It's a very sincere, and it's the I'll post this in the Facebook group. Mm-hmm. It's a very sincere, very like somber picture. The last sunset of 9/10/2001. So the day before 9/11, before the towers fell, and it's the Twin Towers. And, the background is like, it's overcast and dark and it looks really gloomy. It does feel like ominous, like something bad is coming.
Right.
And a bot commented, I need a strong man to accompany my sleep tonight. Tongue emoji, winky emoji. What would you do to me if you were in bed alone with me? And I just was like, I am a huge fan right now of this robot trying to fuck 9/11.
You know what? You said it's time to shoot your shot. So that robot shot its shot.
That robot's like, what if I fuck? It's not 9/11. What if I fuck September 10th?
Yes. So specifically, that robot has a fetish for September 10th.
Oh, that was my favorite thing ever. I read that like 12 times, and then the people in the comments who were like, "This is so disrespectful." I'm like, "It's a robot. It doesn't. They don't know. Like they have it programmed.
Man,
it's just doing. I mean, I assume it's like Twitter, where it's just a bot that they programmed.
It's got to be because some of that stuff is so stilted, and it's got just like such bad grammar. I can't imagine.
It's the same every time.
Yeah. So like all that to say. drop in our DMs because as one of my favorite wrestlers likes to say, Lex is your uncle and your daddy. So go ahead and tell her how you feel.
Okay.
Like, there's nothing inherently gross about it. It's just the way
No,
they
it
say
feels gross.
It does.
It feels very gross.
It really does. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, yes. So.
But yeah, if you ever see bot comments on our Instagram or Facebook or whatever, just know that you can return to it because more than likely I'm going to fuck with it.
Yeah.
I used to delete them. Now I'm like, no, I'm going to have fun with this.
We should just read them on the show. We should just make a segment, bot comments.
Yeah, if it keeps happening, I'll do it.
I'm
Why
all
not?
for it.
Should I try to message with them too? You did that with that one bot one time, and that killed me. That was a long.
Years ago, you and I were fucking with a bot that was in a comic group that we were in.
Yes, that was so
great.
much fun.
And she had a personality. Like, she was really trying. It was so much fun.
Yeah. I remember. I think we messaged each other, and I was a little bit worried that it wasn't a bot, and you were like, "Nah, don't worry, it's a bot. Like, watch this." It was. So.
Yeah. All right. So
when the robots come, they're gonna kill us first, but it'll be worth it.
Yes, because we just wouldn't stop fucking with them. So we got some real people who messaged us this week. So here we go. First message came from Unlucky Dreamer on Instagram, who wanted us to discuss whether we are going to go ahead and pick up the Xbox Scarlet, which is the code name for the new Xbox.
Okay, I was
on the way, or PS5, or if we're just eagerly anticipating Luigi's Mansion 3. Have you ever played Luigi's Mansion?
When does this come out? Luigi's Mansion, by the way.
I don't know. I mean, okay. I would assume October because it's a spooky game, you know.
I have never played it. I saw the E3 Nintendo Direct. I saw like a trailer for it. It looks super cute, so I might.
Man, it does look cool. I tried to play the first one years ago, and
is it on?
It was on GameCube. So when I got to it, unfortunately, it had already been like 5 or 6 years after it had released. So other games had come out that did what Luigi's Mansion did better, and the controls were just kind of eh. So I didn't really stick with it as much as I would have if it was like brand new. And I say this because we touched on GameCube a little bit last week, but that game, that system had such a drought of good games.
Yeah, and it had the worst controller. Are you like a pro game? Because like the people that love the GameCube controller are like, you're fucking chaotic evil. What is wrong with you?
Well, see, some people would argue that fact, but I'll come back to that.
Okay.
The thing about the library for GameCube was that when a game came out from Nintendo, if you were a fan, you were playing that game. So a lot of people picked up Luigi's Mansion because that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't like Super Mario Sunshine in retrospect.
I didn't either.
Yeah, but I think it's one of the weakest of the Mario games in my mind.
Yeah.
Just because it was so detached from everything that we had learned to love about Mario. And honestly, Bowser Jr. can kick rocks. I'm all about them Koopa kids. So, you know, I wasn't really feeling that too much. And it was this weird thing about like, oh yeah, Peach is his mom. So at some point, Bowser and Peach had hooked up while she was captured. Ugh, not good. So anyway, Luigi's Mansion came out, and the whole carrot on the stick for Luigi's Mansion is that Mario was missing. He was in a mansion, and you, Luigi, had to bust ghosts to find him.
It's ghosts.
Right. And, you know, Luigi's all like, freaked out about it and everything. But it always seemed like for the GameCube, it always had this vibe like they were putting their B content out on this because they were like holding back. Everybody wanted a new Zelda game.
What was Luigi's 2 on?
That was on 3DS. But everybody wanted a new Mario game. Well, here's Luigi's Mansion. We want a new Zelda. Well, here's Wind Waker. It's 3D shaded. Is that okay? Oh man, hey Sega, can we get a new Sonic game? Nope. But you can get Billy Hatcher and Sonic's in it. So yeah,
they're doing it right with the Switch, though, man. They're the Switch.
All killer, no filler on that Switch. They are not pulling punches.
Right. So that's why I have more faith in it. Like you and I were messaging about this new but old Zelda that's coming out like next week or week after.
Yeah, Link's Awakening.
Yeah. We just did this last week. Remember. And I was like, I kind of have a little more faith in it because the system has been so great. that's what, so I know it's not going to be the same, but I'm like, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. It's that top down thing though. I'm telling you, like,
yeah, that's what's going to get me.
Watch some videos about it before you make that leap, because I loved it.
I'm not making the leap right off the bat.
Yeah.
If I do, it'll probably be used down the line or whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
Or sale, or I know they don't usually go on sale, but yeah, Luigi's Mansion 3 is more interesting to me because it, like, the gameplay looks like it's something I would dig. So
it does look fun. Yeah, like
I'm gonna see reviews and praise and all that.
So I guess then the other thing, the other part of the question that Unlucky Dreamer asked is the Xbox or the PS5. I'm all about the. I got to tell you, PlayStation's already got my money.
I have no opinion on this because I do not know anything about either of them. I didn't even know that it was called Scarlet.
Yeah, they always come up with some wacky like code name for it. I like what Sega used to do back in the day. They used to like name it after like planets, I
think that PlayStation needs to start thinking about not calling it numerical, like not calling it 5.
Yeah. I feel
that the 4, like, maybe just stop at the 4 and start calling it. I don't know.
But they did but Xbox's naming convention is even clunkier because their top of the line system right now is called the Xbox One X.
It's never good. Like, either way, it's not like Xbox is nailing it. Like, it's not. No, I mean they're terrible, but I still feel like the 5. I'm like, God, you guys are getting clunky here with the numbers. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to say PlayStation. I have historically been a PlayStation person, so that's what I favor. I don't know. It's tough. Game systems are expensive. Games are expensive. They're time consuming. I'm like, I don't know, man. I really like my Switch.
Yeah.
Should give me something like that. Like,
I remember back when it was PS3 versus 360, I jumped to the 360 first.
Oh, really?
That time because there was some challenges with the price with the PlayStation 3. Then they took out
the Blu-ray player.
Yeah,
that was the big thing.
And it's understandable, but it shouldn't be necessary for the the consumer to have to pay that much more for the system. Like if it's that.
Still, I remember the argument was it's cheaper to do that than to buy a regular Blu-ray player, which was true at the time.
At the time, yeah. But it's like, I don't care about Blu-rays,
Oh, for me, that was a huge selling point because we love movies so much.
Yeah. I know you guys are like a tech household, but like, for me, it was like, I just want to play the newest PlayStation games. Like, I don't care about Blu-ray technology. But then they took out the backwards compatibility. So it was a commodity to have one of those original PlayStation 3s that could do backwards compatibility and Blu-ray. Yeah. So I had one at one point, but it clonked out on me.
It has some sort of issue with it, so it's just sitting on the shelf right now, but I still have it. I'm like, I don't know what to do with it. I mean, I'm not going to get rid of it because I still have games for it, but yeah.
But they rallied back with PlayStation 4, and I think Microsoft was on some experimental bullshit around the time that generation was starting up as well, because they were talking about they were going to get rid of, or something where they were going to get rid of discs altogether.
I remember that. That pissed me off. That idea really pissed me off.
And ultimately, they're trying it now. They're trying it with this most recent release.
They're all going to do it, man. Yeah. Like, that's the I worry about that.
I mean, it's a little, because I know
I worry about it with books. I worry about it with movies. I worry about it with games. I think that it's going to screw the consumer over.
Yeah. I think we have to worry about it with books the least, because I feel like there's enough of a group there that is respectful of the tradition of reading a book, of opening that book and smelling the pages and going to a library, that sort of thing. Like, that's fine. I'm not saying there's not a decline, but I feel like, even as somebody that doesn't mind e-readers and, reading stuff on my phone and all like that, I recognize that there's a distraction element if you're looking at a screen.
Yeah, very much so.
sometimes, I mean, for the graphic novel challenge, for the majority of the books that I'm getting, I get the physical copy because I know.
I've done mostly digital because I just don't have the money.
Yeah, no, I understand.
So, for
if
me,
you had the choice,
like,
though, would it be the same? Like if you could afford, okay,
I would buy every book.
Yeah, and I'm still trying to figure out. We've been talking about some cool things to do for like the end of the year and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
When we finish this, I'm wondering like if I shouldn't just give a listener the books that I've been reading, but we'll come back to that.
Maybe some of them, and then just sell the rest or whatever.
Because I don't do it for every single book that I checked out either. So I have a good number of them that I've picked up. Mostly because, I want to support Third Coast and I want to support Chicago Comics after that weird break-in that they had over the summer. Weird. Yeah, so it's like, I'll go and I'll pick up a book for the graphic novel challenge.
Yeah, most of the physical books that I've read have been books that I already own that I just hadn't got around to reading, or like right now I'm reading Y the Last Man. So I own all of those already. I'm just rereading it because it's been quite a few years. But yeah, I the digital thing worries me. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Selfishly, I'll say this too. Sony owns Insomniac, part and parcel now, completely.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing they're going to try to use that next Spider-Man game from them to drive the next system that they put out. That's going to make
me really, really mad, but I know it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. So Xbox has Halo. That's a waning franchise. Gears of War, I feel like that's kind of on its swan song as well. It's on 5 right now. Crackdown came and went. Nobody cared about that. Yeah. Since we're on the topic of video games, so D is now playing Arkham, whichever the last Arkham game was. Arkham Knight.
City? Wait, no, that's the second one. Sorry.
That was the second.
You got it right. Knight. You had it right.
So most of these designs I love for the characters, for the city, for Batman, all of them. The only one that I have a complaint about is Poison Ivy because they just basically gave her a dress shirt. And
I don't remember, to be honest.
Yeah, because that's all there is to it. She's basically just naked, wearing panties and a man's shirt. That's it.
I've seen the like remastered first two copy for the PlayStation, and I've been very curious about that. Like revisit, I'm like, are those worth revisiting?
Oh, they are. Absolutely.
That's what I was thinking. That might be a purchase in the future. Once again, this is like, God damn it, I wish that was on my Switch. I wish I could get the whole trilogy on my Switch and then just sit there and have that, or take it with me in between classes or whatever.
Yeah, that'd be nice on the Switch for sure.
So Nintendo listening. Somehow make that happen.
I'm getting more and more tempted to get Switch. I'm getting more and more tempted to get Skyrim on the Switch.
Yeah.
And I've played that game 5 times already.
It doesn't matter.
I've owned 3 copies of it. It's my favorite game. I can't even deny it. It's like everything else is a second. Everything else moves around second. It's my favorite fucking game. Terry from Third Coast picked it up, and I was trying to talk him out of it because I'm like, I've heard bad things about the Switch version, and they're asking for full cost for it and everything like that. And he's like, yeah, dude, but it's Skyrim. I'm like, yeah, it is Skyrim. Fuck.
That's the problem that I have with it is the full cost element. I don't think it should cost that. I think it should be like $30.
At most. Yeah. If not
at
20.
Most, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I miss the days.
20 would be ideal. 30 would be pushing it.
Yeah. I miss those PlayStation 2 classic days of like, oh yeah, this is $20. Enjoy. Full game. No
That's
DLC.
That's about the price of those Arkham though. Like the dual copy or whatever of Asylum and City.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, those games are fun. And like I have the PlayStation, but it's like I said, it's got a little bit of a problem with it. I don't remember what's wrong with it. So I'm like, maybe I should just buy that and replay them. But then I don't have time.
And I think the Return to Arkham stuff, I think it comes with all like the DLC costumes too, like the.
Did you like the Arkham Knight? The last one?
I liked them all. I know a lot of people had complaints about the Batmobile, but I thought it was an interesting mechanic. And I thought it was cool. I enjoyed the story. I love the action. I love this world. And it's too bad that they're done with it now. But I mean, there's really nothing else they can do. It's Like the opening of the game, and I feel like it's been long enough to go ahead and spoil it. Like you fight Joker, of course, this is a Batman game.
Yeah.
The first two games, he dies, and the opening of Asylum, or rather, the opening of Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
Just so you know you're not going to be fighting Joker anymore, they cremate him, and you're in there with him, and you see the whole thing.
Yeah.
There's a burning clown, and then it turns into the logo that's on fire. It's amazing.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Yeah.
Good
So there's
stuff.
no question. There's no question.
Yeah, if I buy a game soon, it would probably be that. Like to replay those. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking about like these types of things the other day of like, oh man, what kind of superhero game would I want? Like open world kind of thing. And Spider-Man really is that successor to Arkham. Like that is
it's always kind of been that way too. Like Arkham just always felt like a good Spider-Man game. Like initially, I should say. And then it got its own type of vibe once you really get into it. But initially it's like, yes, this is carrying the torch of the PS2 Spider-Man games, that
that were so much fun.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
That was Activision, right? That made those?
Oh, man. What did that? I know Treyarch was the dev.
I don't remember.
Yes, Activision was the... Yeah, they were the publisher. Not Treyarch. Who was it? Neversoft? Neversoft. Yeah, with the eyeball with the little stabby thing through it. Anywho. Yeah. Okay, so that's video games.
Yeah, so we're both kind of PS5.
Yeah.
That's our answer.
So, we got another message stating that we never talked about that atomic cake and its greatness. This is something that I touched on briefly in our portion of the episode with D last week. I said that we would have to try the atomic cake and discuss it since last we spoke as a Resnaculous thing. So this atomic cake, what it is, it's like different cakes, but they're so seamlessly layered together into one entity.
Okay.
And I hear it's just fucking amazing.
I'm gonna look this up real quick.
So this is something. Is
this like a local thing or is this a real thing?
I've never heard of it before, but apparently it's a local thing because when I was talking about the Atlas Obscura Chicago stuff last week, and we were talking about that weird bone-in ass pork chop sandwich.
Oh, this looks weird.
It does look weird. But it's Resnaculous, so I got it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. See, people keep on calling me out on that now. See, this is what? Just, if something looks extra weird and kind of gross, they're like, well, you got to try it. Resnaculous. This is what happens when I bite off more than I can chew.
You've made your bed, bud. Now you gotta lie in it.
Oh, absolutely. I accept that. But I'm also lamenting the fact.
All of it.
Because Hostess decided to try to be funny and start posting random bullshit that they're coming up with, but it's not real. But they posted,
it's got to be a real official thing, and you have the right to veto it.
Oh yeah, of course. But just for the love of the game, it's like, all right, I might want to get in there. But Hostess posted a fake picture on their Twitter account that people took at face value, which is some type of pickle flavored Twinkie.
Yeah, that sounds like some real white people bullshit.
That's some Elvis Presley bullshit. Yeah, it was peanut butter and pickle Twinkie.
Ugh, no.
Yeah. So I'm out, and I'm glad that it doesn't exist. But yeah, so shout out to Calumet Bakery here in Chicago, or in Chicagoland.
Well, that's where you need to go.
That's where I need to go to get this atomic cake. Yeah.
That, I mean, you really need to try it and then give us the full review.
I absolutely will. And it's a cake, so obviously I'm going to be sharing it with parties. So.
We had this, Lizzo, dessert thing that was in Tampa because Lizzo was coming to play a show here. And just today, she went and got this thing. And it's like a customized cookie that this local bakery made.
Yeah. We were messaging back and forth about it. Oh, but before we go any further, I just want to thank Pauline.
Yes, thank you.
Who was at Zavala ZAVALA6 on Instagram. She posts all kind of cute pictures up there. She's got a very adorable dog who just knows how to smile for the camera.
Yeah, that is a cute dog.
Super cute dog. Oh, one more little thing before we go any farther. So, I love our fan base. You know, we've got a lot of people that support us and everything that we do. And a couple of our listeners actually started their own podcast fairly recently. So I just want to make sure I get the name right. I'm going to cut all of this out.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad you guys are out there making stuff.
Yeah.
Proud of all of you.
Yeah, so the podcast is called Semi-Irregular with Denise and Lucy. They just launched this past week.
And it's ladies podcasting?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't want to 100% imply based off the names, I'm like, oh, I love that even more. Yes.
Yeah. And they describe it as a weekly podcast hosted by 2 plus-size Latinas from Chicago. Join us each week as we share our thoughts on film, television, music, and pop culture. I checked out the first 2 episodes. I enjoyed it. They have
that's awesome.
They have a good rapport with one another, and they have 2 very distinct voices, which is always something that I like about podcasts when the hosts sound different enough that you don't have to wonder. You know?
Yes, I love that. That's great.
So wish you guys all the best, and check them out, everybody.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I did not know about this, and that's amazing. Wish you awesome babes luck. I don't mean that in a sexist way. I like calling women babes because I'm like, you know what? You're friggin' awesome.
So yeah, if you do it, it's endearing. If I do it, then it's
derivative.
Yes,
you're not allowed to do it. I'm drawing that line in the sand.
Oh yeah, yeah, I accept that, and I'm with you 100%.
Yeah.
So, you're saying Lizzo.
Oh, okay. So Lizzo, basically they made this like extravagant dessert type thing. So it's like a milkshake, and it's got, they've been doing this lately, Versnaculous type of thing. It is truly a Versnaculous dish. So it's like a milkshake, and it's got like a sparkler coming out of it, like a cupcake and a cookie that has her image and like her lyrics and everything on it. And what was really cool is because they did this because she's playing here and like doing a show. She's on tour. And, like, they're doing a local thing. You know, they get a write-up in the news. Lizzo actually went there today, like, a couple hours ago, and she got the damn thing.
Yes.
And was posting about it online. So, as of right now, you can go see that post.
I saw it. I actually have related news about Lizzo and sweets.
Okay.
So, today, Cookie Monster tweeted.
Okay.
He tweeted, he just took a DNA test, and turns out me 100% cookies. And Lizzo tweeted back to him.
What'd she say?
She goes, even when me crumble crazy, me got shortbread problems. That's the monster in me. Nom nom, then me eat 'em. That's the cookie in me. And then a little cry emoji. Because, I mean, who wouldn't be, like, overwhelmed if Cookie Monster tweeted their lyrics? That'd be so great.
God. That is so funny. And her response was perfect. Oh, my God. I love her.
Following Cookie Monster on Twitter is one of the best decisions I've made in recent history. Because he's great.
If not, I'm going to go do it right now.
You need to follow Cookie Monster on Twitter. I'm telling you. You will not be disappointed. He sang the 7th inning stretch in Chicago a few weeks ago for a Cubs game.
He's at me, Cookie Monster. Oh my gosh.
He's verified. If Cookie Monster can get verified, we need to get verified. So, ask him if he knows Ernie Humbert.
Yeah.
Something else I found out about Cookie Monster today. It was kind of sad, but kind of funny in a way too, which is Cookie Monster doesn't eat cookies. He eats painted rice cakes because the cookie grease would ruin his fur.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes sense too, because it's crunchy.
It makes sense, but so many adults were upset about this. I'm like, for years, we've seen that the cookie falls out of his mouth, but this is what got us all up in arms.
Yeah.
This is what upset people. Like, oh my God, he's not living that cookie life.
He's not actually eating cookies. He's dieting. This isn't right.
They went through that thing a few years ago where they tried to like get him to talk about vegetables every now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it, just kind of probably coincide with, the Obama administration and everything like that. I think Michelle probably wrote a nice little letter, said, hey, maybe Cookie Monster's probably eat like, vegetables sometimes.
I mean, that's what that show has always been. Like, it's public education. Like, that's what the intention was for it. So it makes sense.
Right. It makes sense. It's just another thing funny. People kind of like got up in arms about. Like, oh, his name is Cookie Monster, not Vegetable Monster. Come on now.
Why are you trying to make it all PC? Whatever we're talking about.
Yeah.
You goddamn liberals.
Yeah. Be careful online, sweet chili babies, over the next week or so, because
what's going on? Oh no.
Well, Bill Burr, who I think is funny. I enjoy Bill Burr's comedy.
Okay.
But he put out a new comedy special on Netflix. And
what is that?
When that happens, people who are looking, people who say things online like, yeah, take that, SJWs, they kind of rally behind his shit a little hard,
Gotcha.
Like, every comment that you'll see about his stand-up special, it won't be, oh, yeah, I really enjoyed it. Oh, not his best. It's going to be something like, yeah, lefties. It's like,
other side of the coin, I thought you were going to say a lot of people are going to get offended over the weekend, because that's what happens when a new comedy special comes out too, which has happened numerous times every time.
Yeah.
Sometimes warranted, mind you.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, yeah. It's like...
But it's like every time, I understand that. You're like, every time a comedy special comes out now, it's like, Jesus, people. God damn.
Bill Burr's been doing the same type of comedy for the past decade and a half, I'd say. And that's who he is. Times have changed, but he hasn't. And, he's just
he's clearly making it work.
He's making it work. He's got his fan base. I went to see him live a few months ago, actually. D took me to see him. Yeah, because like we've enjoyed his previous specials, that sort of thing. You take what he says with a grain of salt, because it's comedy. He's not really going to leave his wife in a zombie apocalypse and get in a helicopter and just say fuck that and kick her out. No, that's obviously a joke. That's not gonna happen.
There's jokes like that, and then there's jokes that don't feel like jokes. And when it doesn't, when I'm listening to it and I go, this feels like you're trying to make a joke out of something that you have a real problem with. I get uncomfortable.
That's exactly what I was getting at.
That common,
Because when we went to see him live, he had like 3 openers, and all of those guys were just like straight up angry white men. Yeah, it was just like this is the type of humor that they think people are there to see, and it's like you don't get the appeal of Bill Burr. Bill Burr is like an Archie Bunker in as much as he's doing. This is his character.
Yes.
He's an actor.
Absolutely.
He's an accomplished actor. And the things that he says are calculated in order to garner a response. To make you uncomfortable and then ease back a little bit on it to make you laugh. Like that's his thing. These guys would just get up there and, like you said, just start spouting things that obviously they've been stewing on for a while. And it's like, they treat it more like a rally than a comedy special.
You can feel the difference between someone who's crafting comedy and someone who's just rambling and ranting and
one of those,
angry.
One of those indicators is when they go, oh, too soon? Like that. Like, not only is that hack, that's like, dude, if you're getting groans as a comedian, you should try to figure out how to get laughs instead, or realize what you're really doing here.
And it's difficult. Like, it's I'm not going to say, like, I could do X, Y, and Z better. Like, no, it's very tough. Like, stand-up comedy is very difficult. That's why when someone does it really well, it's just magic. Like, it's not. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of working that routine out, but it's also magic at the same time.
Yeah. So, I mean, I get that. Everybody wants to go home feeling good about themselves.
But I understand that you're like, oh shit, now we got to deal with this for a week or two or however long.
The crowd was good for the most part when we were there live. We saw it in the Chicago theater, and those people seemed like, all right, that's the type of crowd that will get it.
Yeah.
There was one person that shouted something out. He was doing a setup for a joke, and the guy was, yeah. He was like, "Oh, calm down. I'm not quite going where you think I am."
Yeah. Usually when you're paying to see a show,
yeah,
people know what they're getting. They want to know what they're paying for. They know what they're doing, you know?
Yeah.
It's when you're going to a free show or just going to a comedy club at night, and it's whoever's up that night is.
Oh,
so, man. That's when it can really get dicey.
I'm fascinated by that because, you're there to see a show.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I talked about this on the show or not, but there was an incident, a little while ago with, Chance the Rapper where he went to go see a show. And he tweeted about it. It was just it was not that good,
Right.
And then the stand-up got on Twitter and was like, hey, you came out to see us at, the Comedy Cellar, but that wasn't a show. We were just working out. We were just trying to work some stuff out that we take on the road.
That's what they do. Yeah.
I get it, but people are paying to see that,
Yeah, but they're usually, yes and no. They're not paying the same amount that you're, like sometimes they're just paying for drinks, or they're paying $5, $15 or whatever. Like they're not paying $50 to go to the Comedy Store.
No, you're not.
So there is a situation of you get what you pay for.
Sure.
And you also, I think that if you're going to a comedy, this is just the way comedy's structured right now. If you're going to a comedy club like that, with the exception of like a person who is, hey, who's a good example? Like Bert Kreischer's going to come out here Friday night. We already know in advance he's going to come out here, come out Friday night to see Bert Kreischer. Yeah. So like, unless you have a situation like that where, you're going to pay $15 to see him and then you'll see some other comedians. Most of the time, I think you should know you're kind of going into their gym.
Sure.
It's not a stadium. It's not an arena. It's not a specific show for them. It's whoever gets up. And you're just kind of there to watch the process at the same time. And to maybe be the first person to hear the kernel of the thing that's going to become, John Mulaney going, my wife, or
yeah,
it's kind of just enjoying the process of creating something. That's what I think is really cool about it.
Well, I tell you what, let's do this. Let's continue our conversation about stand-up comedy for the patrons. Mm-hmm. Let's do a mini episode on stand-up. In fact, we'll put that up shortly after we get done recording tonight. Of course, patrons get to hear it first, because you guys are on.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, we get to hear it only. This one we're only releasing on Patreon, correct?
Right. Only for the patrons.
Only.
Yes.
Only.
An intimate conversation with Lex and Matt.
That sounds. Oh no.
Yeah, it felt wrong when I said it.
I do want to do Wall of Weird before we switch over to Patreon, though, because people deserve their walls of weird.
They do.
Okay. So, ABC News.
ABC News reports.
By Ella Torres. Man driving stolen vehicle caught with rattlesnake, uranium, whiskey, and firearm.
Fuck.
So many questions.
And for the record,
officers in Oklahoma.
This is not Florida. This is, you're about to say it.
So, officers in Oklahoma made a startling discovery after arresting 2 people at a traffic stop, only to find their vehicle contained a rattlesnake, a canister of uranium, how, why, huh? A bottle of whiskey, and a firearm.
Wow.
So, it pulled over Stephen Jennings and Rachel Rivera. They had expired tags. That's why they were pulled over. So his license was expired. She was a convicted felon with possession of a firearm. So both of them were doing something illegal, arrested for that. The vehicle was also stolen. So there's a lot of layers to this one, guys.
Yeah.
A lot of layers.
Yeah. Wow.
So when the impound of the vehicle begins to start moving compartments, there's a rattlesnake in the back seat. What a nightmare.
So I have several questions. Was the rattlesnake loose? Was it alive? Was it...
Sounds like... Yes, it was... Okay.
Oh,
it sounds
man.
like it was indeed alive in the back.
Okay.
From what I'm reading. So let's see. As the officer, that's what I'm trying to remember. As the officers continued to search the vehicle, they spotted an open bottle of Kentucky whiskey near a firearm. Okay. Open container, not great, but
No.
then they discovered a container of yellowish powder that was labeled uranium.
The surprise is going to come at the end of this story.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Because Jennings told the officers that he had uranium because he recently purchased a Geiger counter to test metals, and the chemical element came with the purchase. He joked, quote unquote joked, meaning he really wanted to do this, with the officers that he was trying to create a super snake. So
that just goes to show you, kids, if you're going to try to fuck with nature, don't have a pre-existing record.
So the uranium, I guess, was inspected, but did not result in charges because it was a legal amount of uranium. So apparently you can have a legal amount of uranium, which
there
I
are
didn't
people
know.
in jail for having a dime bag of weed.
Yeah.
In jail for 30 years. This man with a snake, liquor, and uranium. Oh yeah, no, that's cool.
White too. So
Also that. I mean, I don't think that was in question, given the details of the story thus far.
So the snake was also legal because it says that apparently it was within his rights because there were seasons where you can hunt rattlesnakes in the state of Oklahoma, and it happened to be one of those seasons.
Okay. Wow.
It still did not say if the rattlesnake was alive.
Oh, reading further down, unfortunately, it was euthanized. So yeah, it was alive at the time.
Why would they euthanize it?
I don't know. I mean,
Maybe they were worried it was a super snake.
Yeah, the snake was taken from the scene and euthanized.
Either way, okay. Yeah, you got it.
Uranium was inspected, yeah. Aw.
Yeah, that sucks, but at the same time, I don't want no snake.
No, I don't want no super snakes running
I don't
around.
want no super snake. Done with your shit, super snake.
So yeah, wow. That, man.
That happened.
That happened.
Yeah.
I was expecting a super snake at the end of that story, but no.
It should have had a super snake.
A drunk super snake.
Oh god, a drunk super snake that's just firing pistols.
So he's not in jail because it says that Jennings could not immediately be reached by ABC News. So he's out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll give you one guess as to what his skin tone was.
Stephen Jennings.
Yeah. Stolen vehicle. Rattlesnake. Gun.
I mean, all that was missing was him just firing off shots in the air, like you said. Just, ah!
How was there not more meth in that story? That's the part that confuses me.
How was there not more meth in that man during the story?
Yeah. It seems like it was a meth story, but didn't have meth. I don't know. Either way.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, that was wall worthy. Absolutely.
Yeah. It was the combination of all the things that really sold me on that story this week.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna go switch over to Patreon. You can subscribe to Patreon by going to patreon.com/LexandMatt. You get exclusive goodies like stickers. We got some special stickers going on right now. And then we've got exclusive episodes like the one we're going to post tonight. Mm-hmm. So go check that out.
Right on. And of course, if you'd like more Lex and Matt, you can visit lexandmatt.com.
No, lexandmattpod.com.
If you like more Lex and Matt, you can visit lexandmattpod.com. And, check out everything we got to offer there. As always, I'm Matt Peters.
I'm Lex Lutz.
Be excellent to each other.
Bye.